Hello everyone, tena koutou katoa. I am Grace Bridges and thank you for checking out the first video in my stories channel. On this channel, I'll be reading entire books that I've written, one scene at a time. I'm starting with Earthcore 1, also known as RotoVegas, because this is my favourite series to write at the moment. I do have other series and maybe we'll get to those eventually too. I live in New Zealand, if you can't tell from the accent. I am an award-winning author. There's a spiky thing back there. That is one of my awards. I have been fascinated with writing and making books since I was very little. So first of all, to get started, here's the introduction to Earthcore 1. Superpowers from hot springs. Who knew? In a tourist hotspot in New Zealand, geysers have secrets, and so do the locals. Can one girl stop a superpowered conman? Anira doesn't want to go along on the family trip to Rotorua, city of geysers, not while she's fighting off a latent phobia of volcanoes. But this place has ancient secrets beyond anything she could imagine. Untamed thermal forces hold a hidden power that transforms Anira. The spirits of the land have a job for her to do. Stop a foreign developer who wants to concrete over the natural springs as he misuses the very same powers to take control. Using abilities she has never known, soon Anira finds there are others like her, but they want her to back off. Can she convince them to work together and save the city? Superpowers, volcanoes, legendary creatures. This is the origin story of the Earthcore heroes. It's got supernatural mysteries, real-life locations, and satisfying endings. One reviewer said it's like a front row seat on a tour with a personal guide and extra magic. I've always been creeped out by volcanoes. That's almost the first line in the book, actually. My dad was born in Rotorua, and our family holidays invariably took us there, so that I learned to love the mineral-laden geyser air while still being a bit creeped out. After I started out writing other things, I wanted to write a story at home in New Zealand, and this is that story. A city built on geysers was begging for a tale of magical superpowers. The Taupo volcanic zone is similar in size to Yellowstone, except we've got several cities in that area, some built right on top of steaming ground. Rotorua is one of those cities. And there's plenty of opportunities to bathe in hot springs, sometimes in the wild. In the story, contact with the water or steam confers powers. Oh, the things I could tell. Of the 1886 eruption at Tarawera, she of the 10-mile fiery crater rift, whose effects can still be seen today. Of cooking my dinner over a boiling mud hole at my best beloved campground. Of digging in sand at the lakeside where boiling water comes up to meet me. The settings in the stories are entirely real. I've added a respectful dose of local mythology, checking with local Maori elders to be sure my representations are correct. I continue my studies of Maori language and culture. It is a privilege to be allowed to include these things. They are a big part of life in New Zealand. I could ramble on indefinitely about all of this, but I won't. I'd love to answer any questions you have, so go ahead and drop comments on any of my videos. Of course, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. I won't be saying that in the story videos, just the once. I'm aiming to make those as much like audiobooks as I can, even though this is just me talking to my webcam in my office. The image quality won't be fancy, but this channel is mainly for listening anyway, right? You may see cats wandering through at times. I have 4 of them. I do have other channels which will be linked below, but right here is just going to be for story reading. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram as Grace Bridges Books, all one word, and my website is at www.gracebridges.kiwi. I'll add all the links and my book sales page in the description on this video. As we go along, I'll add each reading to a playlist so that you can listen to the whole book at once without having to look for the next part. Thanks for watching. Let's get into reading Earthcore 1, starting with the very next video. Oh, one more thing I forgot. I use a lot of New Zealand slang and Maori language in these stories because that's what we do here. There is a glossary which is inside the printed book and also online at www.gracebridges.kiwi/dirt. And I'll pop that below as well. But if you want to look at the words before or during or whatever to find out what they mean, if I say some strange sounding things, that's where you find it. Thank you, and see you right away for the story.